Hello my dear friends, welcome back to our channel JEE Multiverse. So today we are going to study some miscellaneous topics such as turning of a car on a road, banking of a road. Okay, so we are going to learn these two topics today. So firstly, let's learn turning of vehicle, any vehicle, car, bicycle, any vehicle on horizontal road. It is not banked. Okay, wait, I'll just write this horizontal road. Okay, so this is our first topic of this lecture, turning of a vehicle on horizontal road. That means suppose the road that is curved like this. Okay, so it is horizontal. Okay, this is perfectly horizontal. It is not curved like this. Wait, I'll show you. It is not curved like this, like race tracks. Okay, racing track, you have already seen the racing track. It is like banked at an angle theta like this. Okay, the upper part is little higher than the lower part. So we are going to talk this about later, about that road later, but first we are going to talk about a perfectly horizontal road that has no banking whatsoever. Okay, so on horizontal road, what happens when a car moves like this? Okay, let's assume that this is a car. Okay, it does not look like a car, but let's say it is traveling with a speed v. Okay, with a speed v on the road. So it has to take a turn on a road of radius of curvature r. Okay, and we all know that road is not smooth, so it must have some static friction coefficient. Let's say it as mu s. Okay, so when it makes a turn successfully, so let's draw the fpd of the car. Suppose that this is the car. It will experience a normal force from the ground, and it will apply an equal and opposite force mg to the ground. Okay, but when it is taking the turn, an additional friction force F static force will act here, because F static will provide the necessary centripetal acceleration here. Necessary centripetal acceleration will provide friction. Okay, we have talked about this in the previous videos also. When there is friction, the friction force will only provide the necessary centripetal acceleration for any moving object. Alright, done. So we can write friction is equal to m into AC, that is centripetal acceleration. Okay, that is, this whole is centripetal force. So Fs we can write that is mu s into normal, and AC we can write v squared by r. Alright, so and normal we can write as mg, because there is no acceleration in vertical direction. So m and m will cut, and what will be left with? Will be left with under root mu s g r, or r should be capital because it is the radius of curvature. So this is our formula. If the car has to successfully take a turn on a road of coefficient of static friction mu s and radius of curvature r, this should be the maximum speed at which the car may be able to take the turn. Okay, but it has speed less than this, then it will obviously take the turn because it is going slower, but this is the maximum speed at which it can take the turn. Okay, because this is the maximum frictional force. It can be less than this, but this is the maximum frictional force. So this speed which comes out, it is also the maximum speed if the road is horizontal. Okay, so the questions asked are pretty simple. You have to just remember this formula. These are direct questions that are asked. Okay, so let's take an example. Some direct questions. Assume that car is going at okay car is moving on a horizontal road of mu s. Let's say it has mu s 0.4. Okay, mu s 0.4, and radius of curvature of the track, let's say it is 10 meter. Okay, how much it is? 10 meter. And find v max so that it it does not slip. Okay, it does not slip. Okay, and we have to use g is equal to 10 meters per second squared. So friends, it is written here horizontal road, so we can apply this formula directly. So it is pretty simple question. So answer will be V max is equal to under root mu s g into r. So mu s is equal to 0.4, g is equal to 10, and r is equal to 10 also. Okay, so it will be how much? Under root 40 meters per second, or 2 root 10 meters per second. This is the maximum speed at which the car can travel, so that it does not slip on the road. Okay, it does not go off road, we can say. Okay, all right. So this was the theory of when a car is moving on a horizontal road. Okay, so now we will study banked roads. Okay, when the car is moving on banked roads. So this is also a very interesting topic, pay attention now. So let's assume that this is a road like this, and which has an angle theta. Okay, so the upper part of the road is higher than an angle theta, and this is the lower road. Let's say a car is moving like this on the banked road, alright, with a speed v, and the radius of curvature of this track, let's say it is r, capital R. Okay, so firstly the question arises on our mind, why we need banked roads? Okay, so we need bank roads because in bank roads, if we move at a particular designated speed, there is always a designated speed for a particular road like this, then we'll find out what the speed is. Then no friction will act. Okay, then no friction will act. And what is the benefit if no friction acts? Then if no friction will act, then our tires of our car or whatever will not wear and tear. Okay, so it will reduce the amount of friction between the tires and the roads, and the tires will last a longer time. Okay, so you can understand my saying that if no friction will act, then the tires will have a longer lifetime, because it will reduce the wear and tear of the road. Because when we take a turn, there is very much high friction between, like in previous case scenario, when we take a turn like this, there is very much high friction, acting in the horizontal direction. So we have to take the help of friction on the horizontal road. But if we do not want to take the help of friction to prevent the wear and tear of our tires, so we have to make banked roads. Okay, so in banked road, there is a particular designated speed at which no friction will act, but if we go above that speed, then friction will act, and if we go below that speed, then also friction will act. Okay, understood? So firstly, we'll find out what the designated speed is, so that no friction will act whenever a vehicle is moving on these type of bank roads, and this is very beneficial for any vehicle to prevent the wear and tear of the tires. Okay, so let's firstly draw the free body diagram. Let's assume that it is moving. This is a car. I'm drawing it very simple, and this angle is theta, so it will apply a downward force mg in this direction, and it will obviously get normal reaction in this direction. All right, and so when we break the components of the normal reaction, so firstly this angle will also be theta, because this is a z type angle. Okay, and so obviously this angle will also be theta, and this will be 90 minus theta. All right, so I'm not writing these all to avoid confusion. Okay, so this is our theta angle, and when we break the components, here will be n cos theta, and here it will come n sin theta. All right, so we know that no friction is acting here. Okay, we know that no friction is acting here, so n cos theta is directly equal to mg, because there is no acceleration in a vertical direction, and n sin theta will provide the necessary centripetal force for turning the car. Okay, understood? And fc you can write as m v squared by r, that is the radius of curvature of the road. So when we divide, let this be equation 2 and let this be equation 1. When we divide 1 divided by 2, we get tan theta is equal to V squared by Rg. So we get V squared is equal to under root Rg tan theta. Okay. So if an angle is theta of a banked road and the radius of curvature of that road is r, and we move at this speed, okay, we move at this speed only, then what will happen? Then our car will not experience any friction. Okay, then our car will not experience any friction and it will prevent the wear and tear of our tire. Okay, so there is a designated speed for every particular banked road. I hope that you can understand this. Okay, so question asked in this are also very simple, very simple, and they are based on direct formula, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do another derivation. If a car will move greater than designated speed, then what will happen? Okay, so then what will be our maximum speed? So this is not the maximum speed, this is the designated speed. So if we want to find maximum speed on these type of roads, then what will we do? I am showing it right here. Okay, so for Vmax, okay, so for Vmax, what will happen? Now friction will act, because when I told you that if a car moves greater than designated speed, then obviously friction will act. Okay, so let's first draw the free body diagram. I am just drawing directly the free body diagram. So this is our car, let's say, and it will apply a downward force mg and a normal force in this direction. Okay, so if it moves, so listen to my words carefully, if it moves a speed greater than v, then it will have a tendency to slide upwards. Okay, it will have a tendency to slide upwards, and if it moves less than designated speed, then it will have a tendency to slide downwards because of gravity. And when it slide upwards, obviously frictional force will act downwards. So for Vmax, it will have tendency to go up the road. Okay, so obviously friction will act here downwards. Alright, understood? Friction will act downward, static friction. Alright, so this is our free body diagram. So we just have to break the components now. Okay, so when we break, we also know that this angle is theta, and we know that friction is nothing but mu s into n. Okay, let the coefficient of friction be mu s, so it will be mu s into n, and this angle will also be theta. Okay, so when we break the components, so what will happen? First we break the components of the friction. So downward direction, it will come mu s n sine theta, and here it will come mu s n cos theta. Alright, so and we'll just erase this to avoid any confusion. Okay, done. And here in this direction, we all know what will come, n cos theta, and in horizontal direction it will come n sine theta, and I will just erase this, okay, to avoid confusion. So we know there is no acceleration whatsoever in vertical direction, so we can balance easily. So what will come? N cos theta plus mu s n sine theta, mu s n sine theta is equal to, sorry, n cos theta is equal to mg plus mu s n sine theta. Alright, so we'll just rearrange like this: n cos theta minus mu s n sine theta is equal to mg. Okay, so I'll just erase that, and we all know that these two components will provide the necessary centripetal force for turning of the car. So we can write that n sine theta plus mu s n cos theta, it is right, is equal to m. Now what will come? Vmax squared by r. Okay, this is the maximum speed, Vmax squared by r. So I hope that you can understand this carefully. This is the force balance equation, and this is the lower one is the centripetal acceleration equation. So let this be equation number 2 and let this be equation number 1. So when we divide equation number 1 by 2, just see what will come. Wait. Okay, what will come here? It will be n sine theta plus mu s. I will just write mu s as mu n cos theta by n cos theta minus mu n sine theta is equal to Vm squared by Rg. Alright, now we can cancel n on both sides, denominator and numerator, because it will be common, and we can divide the both sides by cos theta. So it will be here tan theta plus mu upon 1 minus mu tan theta, and we'll just shift Rg here and make this under root. Okay, so it will be our Vmax speed formula will come like this, something like this. Okay, so if you want you can remember it, but questions are very rarely asked on this formula, mostly questions are asked on this simple formula, designated speed. Okay, but Vmax question on what is the maximum value are very rarely asked. Okay, I have not seen a single question of this type, but I am just showing for clarification of concept. And now for Vmax, what will we do? For V minimum. Okay, Vmax is done. For V minimum, what will we do? So for V minimum, wait. So if the car moves less than the designated speed, it will have a tendency to slip downwards. So obviously frictional force will act upwards. Okay, got it? So it will be free body diagram again. Mg. Now I'm just showing directly n cos theta here and n sin theta here, and the friction force will act like this, mu into n normal. Okay, so obviously when we break its component also, this angle will also be theta, so it will in this direction it will be mu n cos theta, and in this direction it will be mu n sin theta. Alright, got it? It's pretty simple. Now we just balance the force in x and y directions. So in y direction, what will we write? N cos theta plus mu n sin theta is equal to mg. We can write in y direction, vertical direction, and you can see this component will provide the necessary centripetal acceleration for the turning of the car. So we can write n sin theta minus this component, because it is acting in opposite direction, is equal to what? mv minimum squared by r. Okay, so the basic difference here is only of sign. Here it was minus and here it is plus. Okay, so it is just flipping of the signs. So when you divide this both, it will come sin theta minus mu, 1 minute, minus mu cos theta upon cos theta plus mu sin theta is equal to V minimum squared by Rg. Alright, so we'll just divide the both sides by cos theta here only, in this only. Okay, so it will come Rg into tan theta minus mu upon tan, 1 minute, 1 second guys, it will be 1 plus mu tan theta here. Okay, and under root it will be V minimum. So this is our formula for V minimum. You don't need to remember it, and if you want you can, but questions are very rarely asked in this formula also. Okay, so the most important formula is this one, Rg under root Rg tan theta, or tan theta is equal to V squared by Rg. Mostly questions are asked in this formula only, and these two formulas are very rarely asked. So today's topic was this much only, and if you like this video, please share and subscribe and hit that like button, so new videos will come up. And until then, keep watching our channel GE Multiverse.